Slash interview, take one, marker.
I love guitars. I love playing guitar. I love the way the guitars sound. I love music. I love fucking, you know, it's something I just will never grow out of. I really, the more I do it, the more I like it, the more I learn about, you know, because playing guitar is a never-ending learning process. You know, there's always new stuff, obviously, to discover. It never ends. I'm still inspired by the whole idea of making it do things that I like to hear. I'm still learning all the kinds of new stuff about, you know, playing and about what I'm capable of doing and so on. And still, you know, I'm a rock and roll guy, but there's just all these things that I haven't really done yet. So I'm still working at it.
Another truth betrayed, another down the line. Torture and rip apart what was the pure of heart.
Well, it's the fourth record with Myles and the Conspirators. So we decided on this particular record, especially after everything that's gone on over the last year and a half or whatever, there was no title for it that really encompasses all that's been going on. So rather than try and make a statement, just call it 4. So fourth record, we've done 4 albums in case anybody didn't notice. Here it is. We've been doing this for 11 years, you know, and we've been together all this time and, you know, making some, I think, pretty good music and having a good time. And, you know, I mean, that's basically about it. I think the record itself is probably the best one that we've done so far. So, you know, we're having, showing no signs of slowing down. Well, I talked to Dave on the phone and he said all the right things. And we both were on the same page as to what kind of production we wanted it to be and how we wanted to do it and what we wanted to use and so on and so forth. And so I was sold on the telephone call. And then when we showed up there, it was exactly what we wanted to do. We just performed the whole thing live. We had the amps in the room with the drums, which no producer has ever allowed me to do. And it was just a balls to the wall, just straight up live session.
I don't know how we connected first, but I got a call about working with him, and I freaked out because, I mean, I was a huge Slash fan growing up, huge Guns N' Roses fan. It's just crazy all these years later to be able to run into one of your heroes, and not only run into one of your heroes and work with them, but them exceed, you know, whatever thoughts you had they were going to be like. They're cooler than they were. And however great I thought Slash was a guitar player, he's better, you know. So it was really cool, kind of, you know, getting to meet one of your heroes and they exceed every single aspect of what you thought about him, you know. I think he called me because he heard I make records live and was able to have everybody playing in the room and the whole nine. He'd not really done that maybe in a long time. And I think he was really excited about that. We talked about Aerosmith quite a bit, actually, and some of the tones in the earlier Aerosmith records, you know. And I think we just talked about making a record that felt like those classic records that we love. You know, I knew they were going to come in here and kill it. I had no, you know, no worries about that. But what it did surprise me is the sound Slash gets when he plays a Les Paul. It's crazy. I mean, Les Paul's an incredible guitar, but when it's in his hands, it sounds like, you know, a chainsaw. And the solos on the record, he's doing them live. I mean, he goes for a solo, and it's legendary. It's iconic, and it's memorable, and it's thematic, and I think that's his gift. Aside from being a great player, just the way he composes guitar. I think that really impressed me. And the ability to compose and improvise at the same time, you swear he spent hours on it, but he just came out of him, you know? In particular, the way we did Slash's records, we set it up the same way it would have been if you were rehearsing in your garage when you're 15. You know, your buddies are over, there's a PA, there's no headphones, everybody's cranked up next to each other, the amps are loud, drums are loud. It's the way, you know, that it was probably the way it was when we were all teenagers, and the way old classic rock records were made. We did it that old school way.
A single day, double down, I was on my way. flow. Yeah, you know in time we all have to go. Time will tell, baby, now you know there's no fighting time, just enjoy the show. Whatever gets you by. Whatever gets you by.
Oh man, we had a blast over there. There's just that history, you know, you can't help but, you know, I mean, it's obviously really famous for 50s and 60s like country music and some old school rock and roll stuff. But there's a kind of not only musical history, but just a vibe in the room that you get, that you can't put your finger on what that is, but there's something there. There's an essence of something.
For me, it was like, as soon I walked into the room and just where I was standing, he goes, "You're standing right where Dolly Parton stood," in some session. And I was like, what? Everywhere I mean, Nashville's like that. Everywhere you go, it's some piece of classic music history. And if you're a music nerd like me, it's nuts. So my dad was a huge Chet Atkins fan, and that room, that building, you know, is the building that Chet Atkins built. So for me, it was constantly a wonder. But yeah, I think a lot of that kind of magic really kind of makes all of us kind of feel like this is something special.
It's incredible. I mean, I think Jolene was cut there, and I Always Love You, if I'm not mistaken, was cut there. I mean, oftentimes I've been in a handful of studios where there's that legacy, and there are those ghosts of iconic songs and artists, and there's something, at least to me, that is, it's tangible. You can feel it. It's weird. I don't know how else to articulate that. But with that said, it also adds a certain, like, you got to up your game. You know, you don't want to be going there and be a hack, and because some of the greatest of all time have been in that room, and you want to do that room justice.
The studio was built in '64, opened in '65. Dolly did Jolene, I Will Always Love You here. Elvis recorded here. Waylon Jennings did a lot of stuff here. Daddy Walked the Line, I believe. But it's got so much history. When you walk in here, you feel it. You really feel it. And I think it makes you play better because you know who's been here before. You know, Jerry Reed has been here playing guitar before. So, you know, come to Slash's record, we're doing a rock record, you know, with no headphones, all live in one room. And separation's unbelievable, man. I mean, we did it. You swear we had booths for everything, you know, but it's just this, it can hold a choir, it can hold Slash 200-watt amplifiers, you know?
The beauty with working with Slash, and I think everybody in the band will chime in on this, is that he's not precious with the ideas. He's very open to whatever, as long as it's good for the song. And that's awesome, especially considering, I mean, how many records he sold, the things that he's done. You know, he could just be like, nope, this is this is my thing, I'm gonna do it the way I want. And he's like, no, that's cool, whatever works.
The main thing is not to be overly prepared and not to be too mentally sort of involved, you know? I think just get the songs together the way that you want them. You focus on that, just get the arrangements, just get the music the way that you want it to sound. And then you just have to go and play it. And you don't want to overthink it, and you don't want to concentrate too much on this or that and the other. Just go for more or less what comes to you off the top of your head. You know what you want, you definitely know what you don't want. And you just do things as it comes rather than trying to get too far ahead of yourself and overthinking it, which is very easy to do. The whole process is trying not to. You're thinking about not thinking about it.
world. So if you please just show a sign. Your true intentions, well, they better be pure. Please don't waste my time. You keep it coming like a hurricane. It's rolling, tumbling down. Heavy load, gonna shake, shake, shake you out. Oh, gonna shake you out. The spin goes on, so it prove me wrong. They say that actions speak much louder than words. So if you please just show a sign. Your true intentions, well, they better be pure. Please don't waste my time. But I got something that you will never take. Love knows that mine ain't way too proud. I've lived and learned. This is the last time I'll be born. Oh, yeah. They say that actions speak much louder than words. So if you please just show a sign. Your true intentions, well, they better be pure. Please don't waste my time. They say that actions speak much louder than words. So if you please just do me right. Your true intentions, well, they better be pure. Please don't waste my time. Your true intentions, well, they better be pure. Please don't waste my time.
During the making of this record, I was listening to a lot of movie soundtracks because I love movie scores and movie soundtracks and all that kind of thing. So I'd been listening primarily to that every day, driving back and forth from the house to the studio. Great song. It's hard to really say. It could be a groove, you know, that really sort of inspires the rest of the song, you know, even from the vocal melody or whatever. We always joke about songs have to make you fuck or fight, you know, rock and roll songs, man. Anyway, but it's just it inspires a feeling, and it gives you a certain energy, and it affects you emotionally. A great song does that. That's one of the key things about a great song is it affects you.
Every time Slash plays a riff, I immediately think of, you know, I've said it to him straight out. I said, in a year from now, some kid will be playing that on YouTube. You know, it's just every riff he comes out with is just. That's a classic riff, you know. It's like there's so much about the Slash, you know. You can't say enough. I mean, he's who he is, you know. I mean, he's half the reason a lot of people play guitar, and that goes as from like since the first day we started coming up with songs as a unit till now. It's just sort of every riff he plays, I go, yep, there's another classic Slash riff, you know.
Well, there's no off button. I'll say that. The guy's had a broken rib before. And no one knew, and we played a couple shows, and then he's like, yeah, you know, I'm a little sore. I'm like, why? He's like, I cracked a rib from, for whatever reason in Australia. It's like, okay, like what is that? Like how do we get a hold of some of that like kind of energy? But he's just a force, and I think it really does translate throughout the band, and it makes us want to do the same. You want to match his energy. You know, he embodies that greatness, and it's just natural, and it's really inspiring to be around. The guy's a machine. It's like there's just always another riff. There's always something else.
When you're a legend, and you not only are a great player and you have your own sound, and you've already wrote some of the greatest rock songs of all time, yet Slash is continually challenging himself. It's a sound, he's got very quiet, comfortable confidence that's really important, that everything he does is, he doesn't have to speak loudly about it. It all comes down to just great guitar playing. You know, everything that we put into the band is sort of based around everything that Slash does with a Les Paul that is magical.
I mean, I knew that Jimmy Page, which I thought, you know, he had a Les Paul, which I thought looked cool, way before I ever actually picked up a guitar, you know. But when I did start playing, I had remembered that the guitar sound, the way that Zeppelin 2 sounded when I was a little kid, I thought that was the coolest record. Whole Lotta Love was just the fucking shit. So, you know, fast forward however many years it was when I started playing guitar, when I saw Les Paul, I thought that's a cool looking guitar and it probably sounds like that record. I was really, really ignorant. I learned stuff as I went.
The thing that's great is his chord progressions, he stays out of the way. Like he's a great guitar player. He's got chops for days. But he understands that there's a time for that, and then there's a time for setting it up so that the vocal melody has room to breathe, and that's something that I've always appreciated about him. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do this super fancy rhythm part, and it's going to be really syncopated, or it's going to be, you know, so people can go look at my fancy guitar playing right here. He's like, no, this will be 3 chords and the truth. You know, it's great because he's a machine in that sense, and always has been. And therefore you can do your melody and you can have the lyric and the narrative do what it needs to do, and we're going to serve the song. And I think that's part of the reason that we've worked together as long as we have is that's I think paramount to both of us, is to serve the song.
There's not really one particular favorite part of making a record. I mean, there's highlights through the whole thing, from coming up with an idea that sounds cool, that you're inspired by. We had a pretty good idea of how we wanted to do it. I don't think, I mean, I had some demos that I did, but I think we just had a general idea of how we wanted to go about it, as far as just getting the energy in the live bit and using analog gear and all that. And that's what we were going for. So the record just sounds like the band playing the songs that we came in with, but it's us playing in the moment. And that's what we were going for.
So Dave has a great way of involving himself in the band, different than I've experienced before, where if a producer is in the control room and speaking to you and coaching you along, but behind the board, behind the mixing board, Dave got in the room. Dave got in the circle with the whole band and grabbed a mic and grabbed a tambourine and was like, okay, let's get the tempo going first. Let's flesh this out, and sort of like brought us together. Even though we're all comfortable with each other, Dave sort of like plugged himself into us. So instead of being in the room going, talk back and talking to us, behind glass, he was like right there with us.
No, actually with this part, we don't need to stop on the chorus, I don't think. No, we can right onto it. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's do the bridge, which is hits, right? Like, same thing, let's kill it. Like the song is over, then on the A, just do something crazy. We haven't done anything that radical. Yeah, so that'll be the same amount on the B as it is wherever you're at. I think it's B, where you're at the solo. Two, three, four. God. Okay, one more time. We're done. We got this motherfucker. That was badass. It's just magic. Gosh, yeah, let's put it together.
The funny thing is that Dave is not a big opponent of rehearsal. He was kind of like, don't over-rehearse. Like, don't spend a whole bunch of time rearranging and doing all this. And I know this well enough to be around producers to know that you can do whatever you're going to do, but then he's going to have his 2 cents on how it's going to go too. So you have to always be kind of fluid and ready for the change. So Cobb comes in and he's like, it was very on the fly. Like, it wasn't sort of a lot of beard stroking and talking and like, maybe we should do, it was like, we're in it. This is the song today. We're working on this song. It was often 2-3 songs a day. And it would be like, what about this? What about that? Boom, 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 boom. And it was on. He was referencing things like Black Sabbath records, a lot of the stuff that I was like, because when you think about the first Sabbath album being done in like a day or something like that, that's trying to really capture a vibe and the excitement more so than about perfection and, technicality per se.
And that's the thing about Dave, is he didn't want anything too extravagant. Like, his whole thing was capturing the magic of when you're scared almost, of when you're just kind of unsure of what the next part is. if that makes any sense. It's like we all come in there rehearsed as much as we had rehearsed for like 2 weeks. And then he's like, okay, well, I like that part, but why don't we try it like this? And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we go to try it, but little did we know the first couple times, it's like, that was our first go. And he's like, that was it. That was the magic. And everyone's like, well, I mean, Dave, he's like, just listen to it. And then we listen to it, and it's like, man, you're right. It's amazing.
And the guy's definitely, it was fascinating watching how Dave works. He's so fast. And he's a vibe guy. He's about capturing lightning in a bottle. Look, a good producer, it's not just about the tones and the arrangements. It's about psychology. It's about making the artist feel comfortable. And he knows that's when you press the red button. Now my guys are ready to go.
Oh, now you
you know, being that this was the whole COVID thing, we actually took precautions. We got a tour bus to drive us from this, you know, we went from Vegas because a few of the guys live in Vegas, and we arranged to drive all the way to Nashville. That way we didn't have to deal with the airports or any other kind of public exposure, right? Got to Nashville, dropped off the gear, got up the next morning, recorded the whole record in 5 days. And then Myles says, at the end of that whole thing, he calls me up, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, that's Myles. Why would he be calling me? He's in the building. And it turned out Myles was positive. And it was like a domino effect from there.
Excuse my French, but this is a total shit show. Everybody in the organization will tell you that the one guy who was all freaked out, and I think everybody was, but I was, you know, I'm a hypochondriac in the first place, so this whole thing has, you know, been really interesting to navigate. And so strangely enough, I was the first person to get it. And before we went in the studio, everyone's tested, like we did everything we thought we could do. And about 24 hours in, I was like, yeah, my allergies are starting to flare up. What's going on here? And so we got a doctor in, and even the doctor was like, oh, you're fine, you're fine. And then like 3 minutes in, it's like, he's saying my viral load was just, it was up there. And so, yeah, you've got COVID. And I just couldn't believe it. So yeah, I called Slash because I wasn't going to go and go back in the room with everybody. And I said, hey, I got COVID. Like, we're going to have to, I'm sorry. And we were all staying in the same house together. And so, yeah, we all basically had to quarantine and try and finish a record.
You know, without pointing fingers at Myles. Never for 1 second thinking that it could be anything serious. You know, you just kind of go, he used to be like, yeah, I'm not really feeling that great. And you're like, well, you don't have to be here. Go back and rest while we, you know, do whatever we're doing, bed tracks. But to his credit, he was in the booth singing. You know, a good chunk of the record is him singing while he's actually fighting, you know, COVID. So you're like, wow, that really says a lot.
When you're working with somebody that's that good of a singer, it's really not hard work. You know, you say anything, he's just got it, you know? And the crazy thing about the record, the vocal performances are live too. I mean, we kept the live takes. He's not in there policing the vocal and tuning the vocal for hours. I mean, that's just Myles, and he's completely going for it. He's saying every take, even if we were warming up to cut a song, he's saying it like it was the last time he would ever sing, or like he's singing to a stadium. I mean, so I think that's captured on the record, is that raw kind of power he has as a vocalist.
I learned to sing basically by listening to Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, in conjunction with obviously the rock guys, you know, Freddie and Robert Plant and whatnot. And so, you know, you kind of have what you do, and it's hard to, and I don't want to totally break free from that. This is who I am. But when you take that approach and you put it in these different environments, I think it accentuates certain things. And so in this particular realm, I feel like a lot of it's from the hip. There's like a real swagger to the music. And so you have to, I think, manifest that to a point in the way you perform as a singer. And so it's fun. I like that.
brings the dead to life with a voodoo woman charm. It never fails, she cross the line. The nightingale sings tonight. Call off the town, no more. Like in her heart is yours. Call off the town. You're on my trail, you're on my mind. Pull on my chain one more time. I'm easy prey, too weak to fight. No nightingale, take me tonight. Call off the town, no more. Right here, is yours. Call off the dogs. Call off the dogs. Call off the dogs. Call off the dogs.
I can't really pinpoint. It's a question that gets asked every time you make a record. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite solo? What's your favorite whatever? But you get so attached to the material when you're sort of writing it. Every song, every note really is just as important as the other one, you know. So it's really as a whole, you know, I feel the record's really special.
The chemistry of the five of us is not having to tell the other person what to play. We already sort of know each other so well. We have a good respect of each other's ability as players and people. It's such a blessing because we don't get into disagreements over, you know, ideas as far as when you're coming up with song stuff. Yeah, we've been playing together for 10 years, so we just sort of have this nice chemistry and a flow, and to get to do it at this level with a comfortable group of guys, it's really special.
2 songs a day for 5 days. Album was done. Like the main tracking. Just that it's the perfect reflection of what this band is. It's a band of 5 dudes that when you hear us on stage, it's just these 5 guys. So what they're hearing on the album is what it is, and I think that's awesome. You know, it's like the most accurate representation of what we are as a band.
They're an easygoing band. I mean, everyone really gets along. You can tell they have a lot of fondness for each other. And what cracked me up as a Southerner is 2 of the guys are Canadian. And they had this thing they kept saying. I was on the ground. They kept saying, you know, when they're getting hungry, it's like, oh, honey, I'm getting a case of the sugars. No one in the South ever says that. I love that. They're just really fun people, fun hangs. So now I've been using their terms, case of the sugars. But just, some of the stuff is almost unspoken, too, because I don't think they had to speak a lot. I think they grew up listening to similar records and had similar influences. So, you know, speaking was really at a minimum. It was more just playing and letting it all come out, you know.
It's really weird to think about that, you know, because we talked a lot about like what to call it, and 4 came up way early on. And I think Slash said it best when he says, you know, it should be, you know, let people know that we've been around. We've been doing this a while, was his exact quote. And I thought, that's actually pretty cool. You know, I mean, we've lost that sort of the days when there was a Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4, that, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that it really says a lot. I think the fact that all 5 of us are involved in these last couple records, and especially this one, makes it, in a lot of ways, the quintessential Conspirators record, you know?
I hope that they hear a record that, you feel this way with any record that is I don't know, like you're just trying to kind of document where you are at that point in life as an artist and do it in an authentic way. And hopefully this batch of songs will resonate and make people happy. Maybe these have been kind of crazy times, so hopefully there'll be some moments on there that'll make someone feel better, or maybe there'll be something that they'll hear and they'll go, hey, I can relate to that, and that's all good. And there's that strength in knowing that somebody else feels the same way you do about something. Or maybe it's just as simple as that's a badass riff and I want to turn it up and have a good time and get in my Z28.
Don't deny that I could be right. This was hopeless from the start. Have you learned? Oh, you lose yourself when you gain the whole world. Now you know. Gravity can be so cruel when you fall back to earth. When you fall back to earth, it's over, don't pretend. But I got you in the end as you fall back to your stand somehow pulled you into the same old cliches that broke my heart. Oh, we lose ourselves as we gain the whole world we come to know. Gravity can be so cruel when you fall back to earth. When you fall back to earth, it's over, don't pretend. But I got you in the end as you fall back to earth.
on this particular record, just everybody playing together and just having that that sort of spontaneity and the energy of the group as a whole, the collective, that's a highlight.
I mean, we've been through so many different things around the world. There's just there's a tremendous amount of history now. I mean, it's a decade, more than a decade, which is hard to imagine. So you definitely bond through all that. And it is interesting is even if we haven't seen each other in months, it's just like riding a bike. You get in a room and it's like, oh yeah, there's my bro. And we just kind of pick up where we left off. And so that's great.
I think it's a record. I think people should listen to it as a record and not just a song, you know? And I think it's exciting when a new rock and roll record comes out that feels like an album. You kind of, you know, put your headphones on, turn out the lights, and just dive right into it and get lost in it. And I hope people look at it as a record, because it really is. It's a piece of work, and just to appreciate how insane everybody in that band is, how incredible Myles is as a singer, and Frank is a guitar player, and Todd and Fitz. And Slash. It's just turn off, turn it up loud, and rock out. You know, back to the Slash thing, it's funny. I think I expected him to be amazing because I'm a fan. But then when he actually played, I remember looking at the engineer and the assistant in there going like, holy shit, it's Slash. I mean, it's Slash, and it sounds like Slash. And I think that's why he's iconic. Very few people just have that complete footprint like he does, and you know it's him. And he, like I said, he exceeded every expectation I had about his guitar playing, you know, tenfold. I loved it. I loved the whole experience, and I really have, I think not only had a great time making the record, but I feel like I made a great friend out of it too, you know.
I hadn't thought about special time and special place in history or time or anything like that, but I mean, we've been doing this for 11 years. There's a lack of pressure. I mean, you know, you go in and you just start jamming, and it's that sort of spontaneous, flying by the seat of your pants kind of approach, which is a lot like playing live. So in a sense, there's less pressure than when you're really sort of scrutinizing everything in the studio process. I just hope that they you know, you just hope that they get off on it, that they like enjoy listening to it, and it provides a certain kind of excitement and energy, and that they're happy listening to it. Yeah.